Absolute Poison Ivy has arrived and has already taken over part of Gotham. Pamela was 10 when her mother surprised her with a trip to Gotham City. They lived out in rural Kane County, deep in the woods. Pamela wasn't used to wearing shoes. Her mother used to call her Ivy because of how she liked to climb trees. They went to the top of the Hart building, where her mother explained that it was the heart of the city, where the crosswinds would intersect, and it was said that it was the best place to make a wish, because the winds would take it away to root it somewhere out there. Pamela's mother hands her a dandelion and tells her to make a wish. Pamela blows on it and watches as the pappus flies away. Now, a security guard moves through the shadows of a building, his flashlight shining in the dark. "Hello?" he calls as he hears something. The light falls on strange vines on the floor, connecting to red bulbs. The guard's eyes widen as something shifts in the bulbs. The creature looks at him and hisses. "What the hell?" the guard gasps as he turns to run. But something is there. It has him. Vines slither up his body and into his nose and mouth. "Welcome, officer," Ivy whispers, "to my wish." Shortly, police choppers buzz overhead, floodlights falling on the strange forest that has begun to grow out of the Hart building. The radios crackle as Mayor Hill's orders to stay out of the biohazard zone is broadcast. One of the chopper pilots looks to his partner in surprise. "What kind of psycho would go in?" he scoffs. Below, a chainsaw rips through the growing vines as Batman cuts his way inside. He breathes deeply from a gas mask connected to an oxygen tank and peers around the strange environment. "I'm in. Talk," he growls to Alfred over the radio. Back in the bunker, Alfred watches his vitals and checks the police reports. GCPD intel indicates the air is highly contaminated with an unknown biological agent. 7 of Balak's best went in ahead of you and brought in an augmented mobile ultrasonic cannon, a military weapon that uses compressed sound waves to separate cells. "Whatever's in there, be careful, kid," Alfred tells him, not liking this at all. Batman nods and presses forward. Shortly, he finds the GCPD officers. They stand in a field of shifting grass. "I have eyes on the officers," Batman reports. But in the bunker, Alfred shakes his head and leans forward. "That's not possible. There are no human signatures on your floor, or any floor near it. Whatever you're looking at, they're not people," Alfred tells him. The officers suddenly shift. Eyes that are no longer human glaring at Batman as he approaches. Their skin shifts beneath their uniforms as their bodies morph, shredding the armor as new, growth-covered limbs grow out of their bodies. The monsters roar and charge. 1 week ago, Bruce tries to see his friends. He heads into the sewers to look for Waylon, hoping the magical arrowhead is working. But the only thing he finds is his shedded outer layer of skin. Reptiles only shed when they're growing larger. At the Iceberg Lounge, Oswald's goons escort him away, explaining that he is no longer allowed on the premises. He goes to the hospital to visit Harvey. The nurse explains that Harvey disappeared in the night, even though the 2 halves of his skull haven't fully healed. Eddie doesn't answer the door, even though Bruce offers him a riddle. He walks through the city, a city that now reveres Batman in a way that Bruce never intended. Now, one of the officers' face splits open like a Venus flytrap, and tendrils snake out for Batman. But he slices through them with his chainsaw gauntlets. According to the data, these things are a blend of human and plant DNA. The spores in the air must be some kind of recombinant mutagen, Alfred warns him. "Whatever you do, keep that mask on," he orders. But the monsters pile on top of Batman, dragging him to the ground and ripping off his mask. "Kid, I just said," Alfred shouts. "I know!" Bruce roars as he shoves the monsters off of him, whirling with his chainsaw gauntlets and cutting them apart. Finally, the last one falls and he quickly reaches for his mask. "The cape, it'll work as a barrier. But those things, they weren't just human and plant hybrids. There was more to them than that," Bruce gasps. "You can tell me all about it back at the bunker. We're aborting this mission right now," Alfred shouts at him over the comms. But Batman shakes his head. "Shut up and listen. I saw something like them back at Arkham. I need you to look up a name for me, Pennyworth." "Isley," Batman says as he continues forward, starting to climb up the vines. Pamela was 23 when she returned to Gotham. Her mother was dying, a knot of cells in her brain growing out of control. But Pamela is confident in her work. She has begun to combine human and plant DNA, creating something that can heal itself through photosynthesis. Now, Batman climbs higher. More of the creatures appear. These ones, some sort of reptile mixed with plants. The monsters hiss and charge. Batman cuts through them. "Kid, I'm detecting something on that floor. Something human. Keep your eyes open," Alfred warns. Batman turns as something descends upon him. Something that looks like a biblically accurate angel. Wings unfurl as multiple eyes stare at him, and a hideous mouth opens wide. He collides with Batman and brings him to the ground, his gore-filled mouth getting closer as mismatched teeth snap at him. Batman struggles with the creature before managing to pull a grenade from his belt. He tosses it into the open mouth. The grenade detonates and the monster sags. Slowly, Batman struggles to his feet. "You were onto something before," Alfred tells him over the comms. "Pamela Isley, PhD, MD, MS. She died, age 25. Something shifts in a nearby pile of vines. Batman cautiously moves forward. He stops short as a human hand breaks through and reaches out for help. Batman grabs the hand and pulls a woman free. Barbara Gordon. "Batman! The team! Where are they?" Barbara asks as she catches her breath. Batman slowly shakes his head. "They're gone, Officer Gordon," he tells her. Barbara lowers her head in sadness. They've reached a ledge, the strange forest world falling away before them. "Brass didn't tell us anything. They just sent us in with this augied up MUC, she says before turning back to Batman. "Look, I was sent in here to stop whatever is happening up there. Me. You can join me as my partner. But you and me, this time, we're a team," Barbara starts to tell him. Batman's hand reaches out and grabs the ultrasonic cannon off her back before pushing her off the ledge with a piece of his cape attached to her. He watches as the cape inflates into a parachute and gently floats her to the ground far below. "You piece of..." Barbara shouts as she plummets below. Batman readies the cannon and turns back to the vines. His eyes widen as he looks at the ground and sees a large face staring back at him. He shakes his head and the face disappears. "You okay in there? It looks like the higher up you go, the denser the spores get," Alfred warns. "I'm fine. I'm going up," Batman growls as he continues his climb. Pamela is 25. Her research is going well. She's remade cells into new DNA, creating something better. Humans that are reconnected to nature. But those that fund her work are looking at only what it can do for them, for their companies. Pamela is in the city. She is staring up at the Hart Building. She decides that she is going to take her work somewhere else. 1 week ago, Bruce decides that he needs to go to the one place where life still makes sense, his mother's apartment. But he stops at the doorway. He can hear someone with his mother inside. Jim Gordon sits with Martha on the couch. I'm just worried about him. I see him trying so hard with his friends, trying to put on a brave face with me, Martha says to Jim. Gordon reaches out for her hand. He's a strong kid, Mar. Stronger than either of us, Jim tells her. Martha nods. She knows she needs to do something for Gotham. She looks into Gordon's eyes. Look, there are things about me that you don't know. Things no one does. Things that if they came out would change everything, Martha tells him. Jim leans forward. Not everything, he whispers before kissing her. Bruce shifts in the doorway. The floor creaks beneath his feet, but he's gone before they can see him. Out in the hallway, Jim catches a glimpse of Bruce before he disappears down the stairs. Shit, he whispers. Now, Batman has reached the top of the forest, the cannon in his hands. The radio crackles in his ear, Alfred's words breaking up. Kid, Spode, Pennyworth, I'm here. I made it. I'm at the top, Batman growls. A tree seems to unfold, revealing an animal-like face and small limbs. Ivy steps from the creature's enfolding embrace. Yes, you are, she says with a smile as she walks forward. Flowers blooming with her every step. Isn't it beautiful? She asks. Batman peers at her. She seems human. Dr. Isley? He asks. She smiles deeper and reaches out for the creature, petting it gently. I used to be, a lifetime ago, she explains. The radio crackles again. Kid, can you hear me? I'm getting nothing human up there. She's not Isley. Not anymore, Alfred warns. Vines suddenly snake up from the floor, wrapping around Batman's limbs and holding him in place. The cannon is ripped from his grasp and pulled away as Batman is brought to his knees. It's okay. Nothing here will hurt you, Ivy tells him as she stalks forward. More creatures join her, strange monsters that hiss at him. But Batman fights his way free of the vines. He grabs a thermite from his belt and activates it, spraying the white-hot flames all around him, burning everything. Long ago, Pamela is packing up her lab, trying to escape in the night, but she hears the click of a lock on the door. Suddenly, there is fire everywhere. She is terrified. Angry, everything burns. The flames lick at her skin. Now, Batman presses forward, the flames from the thermite scorching Ivy, pushing her back. She begins to scream as she seems to melt. Finally, it is over. The flames begin to die out. Pennyworth, is she down? What are you seeing? Batman asks over the comms. But it isn't over. More Ivies begin to appear, stalking from the shadows, seeming to grow from the vines. They all smile at him. Batman takes a step back and revs his chainsaw gauntlets. Kid, I'm seeing something big. It's up with you. It's part human and part plant. But it's more than that. It's part everything, Alfred warns. Batman readies himself as the Ivies begin to surround him. Come on then! Try it! You're not even real! He roars at them. No, they're not. But I am. A voice calls to him. Batman whirls as the real Ivy appears behind him. Her body has a human shape, but her hair flows down in a leaf-like structure. Flowers grow from her chest, needles extend out from her arm, and a third eye blinks at him from her shoulder. Vines grow from the ground as she gets closer, wrapping around Bruce and holding him in place. "Welcome, Batman." "To your wish," Ivy whispers. Her torso splits apart into a wide maw, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, Martha has gone to Gotham Central Station to use a payphone. She sighs and dials the number that she could never forget. "I didn't know if you'd answer, especially after all this time. It's me. I wasn't followed," she says. But there is nothing but silence on the other end. "Are you still there?" she asks softly. Silence for another moment. Finally, a voice answers. "We're always here, Martha. We knew one day you'd come back to the Court of Owls." And that was the complete story for Absolute Batman, issue 17 by Scott Snyder. Absolute Poison Ivy and the Absolute Court of Owls. Quite the double reveal, but what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And like and subscribe to help out the channel. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.